Buckle up for extreme nostalgia. This week we're shredding into the world of Brink, the 1998 DCOM where inline skaters fight for friendship, against corporate greed, and of course, soul skating.
Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we are talking about the 1998 DCOM Brink, but before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. You were real late with that one, no?
No, I feel like...
What do you hear when we...
I don't know. I thought we sounded great.
If you love the podcast and you want to help support us, here are a few ways that you can.
Did you know writing a review and or rating us helps us get more listeners? You do know because we tell you every week.
Been fucking saying it every week.
So please help us out. Head to your favorite podcasting platform. Leave us a review, especially on Apple Podcasts, and you could be featured on a future episode.
Make sure that you've also subscribed to the show because you don't want to miss an unhinged minute.
And if you want to receive exclusive content, stickers, lives, and access to our Burned Out Spotify playlist, head over to patreon.com/nomorelatefees and become a Patreon bestie. Shout out to Kai, who comments on every single behind the scenes and like bonus clip. We love you.
Love you so much, Kai. You're the best. Now, with our guests, Alon and David from the I Finally Watched podcast. Welcome, guys.
Yoo-hoo! Thanks for having us.
Now let's get into Brink. What is this movie about? This wonderful DCOM? Well, Andy, Brinker, is the leader of the group of inline skaters who disapprove of corporate sponsorship, believing that skating should be done for fun rather than profit. But when Brink's family starts having financial problems, he is forced to compromise his principles and join a sponsored team led by the arrogant Val. Not knowing his motivation, Brink's friends are stunned by his decision and collectively shun him until the truth comes out. The movie stars Erik von Detten, Sam Horrigan, Christina Vidal, Robin Riker, Geoffrey Blake, and David Graf. It is directed by Greg Beeman, written by Jeff Schechter, and you can watch it currently on Disney+. But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again.
The best would plan repeat.
5-day rental.
Would watch again.
2-day rental.
Okay, but nothing to write home about.
And same-day rental.
Trash. Pure garbage. Where the soul skaters live.
The soul skaters or the...
No, the soul skaters.
Okay.
Trash.
Okay.
Because if I hear fucking soul skating again in my life, blow my brains out.
I kept a tally of how many times they said it.
I just should have started drinking because that would have been real good. So we're going to start with you, Alon. What was your Y2K rating of Brink? Like your younger self, how did you feel about it?
Dude, everyone liked Brink. I think like you watch it on the weekend, like it premiered Saturday night or something, and you come to school Monday and everyone all of a sudden is into skating and skateboarding who have never been into skating and skateboarding before. And it's just like, you know, you wear those shirts that are like short sleeve over the long sleeve. And all of a sudden Quicksilver just has a, but yeah, no, I mean, I just remember everyone just absolutely loving this movie. And when you're a kid, you don't realize that all those skaters are stunt doubles. So you totally buy the fact that all these teenagers are like doing flips and shit off of staircases. And then now I'm like watching it and I was like, oh, that's a man. That's not Gabrielle at all. But no, I mean, as a kid, I would be like, this is top tier. This is like 9 out of 10.
So it would be a would buy it kind of situation for you
Oh
at the
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
And David, you never
S-
saw it, right?
Yeah, so I saw pieces of it because it was my brother's, like he was big into the Disney, like my younger brother. Same with like Harry Potter as a same day rental for me.
Danielle?
For me, young Danielle was all about that Brink life, okay? I
Mhm.
was putting on those white and bright pink roller skates, falling, but I thought I was about to do something with them. Yeah, 100%.
You needed a male stuntman to take your place for the
You're
actual
right.
skating.
I would love it if he was white as well. Could just throw things way off, and
It's
then I
like
would
that.
land, and it'd be me.
What's that movie where it's just obviously like, oh, was it just
Um,
Friends, or no? Maybe it was like another Anna Faris movie, which
They've done it a lot, where it's like you switch it out to like a male dancer doing breakdancing or something, and then they end in a pose.
it was purposeful though. It was like this like small petite white girl who gets on a motorcycle, and then the stunt is performed by this Jack Black guy.
Yes.
And then when it, yeah.
All right, what about you, Jackie?
Surprising no one, I've never seen this movie.
What? Really?
Danielle, we've had this conversation. DComs were not it.
I agree.
Well, damn, because there's no nostalgia. You're gonna have some hot takes on this one.
How many times this movie is like, it's for the fun of it. It's for the fun.
I'm not having fun watching this. So
You know,
where's
when
the fun?
when I started this movie and I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, this is so nostalgic, and I'm like remembering a couple of things. But the thing that I couldn't get out of my head is like, if this movie had a higher budget, who would be playing these characters? And I was like, Erik Von Deeten is doing his best Keanu. He
Yes.
really is.
Yes.
He's doing his best Keanu Reeves. But then also like the dad played by David Graf. I was like, I'm sorry, was Michael Keaton not available? And he wasn't. He was Jack Frost in that Snowman movie. So
He also probably told his agent, if you bring me a fucking Disney movie, I'm going to shoot you.
and then he proceeded to star in Spider-Man, which unbeknownst to him maybe was a Disney movie.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so for some reason there were no ratings on this particular decom. I think some of the earlier decoms, one thing I've noticed is that like the ratings tracking is not the same as like when we get to like Cheetah Girls and all that stuff. And also there's not like a lot of fun facts. We learned from our episode with Anjali that Disney was real clamped down on what could be talked about these movies. God knows why. I'm scared to even know why. But I did watch the four of them got back together during 2020 to talk about the movie. So I thought maybe there'd be some fun facts there. Did not ascertain anything really, except that Erik Von Detten is starting to bald a little bit, and he's got a little swipe
No more
over.
McDonald's cut.
It's weird. It's like he's got a lot of hair, but there's like something going on right
Oh, he's
here.
thinning. He's thinning out.
Yeah.
Aw.
But the guy who plays his best friend actually looks much better now than he did when he was in the movie. Yeah.
The kid from
And
Oh, I
Christina
see.
Vidal looks
I see
great.
that. I see
Yeah.
that.
Oh my
So-
God.
Anyways, but I did find that this movie made a bunch of rankings on different lists. In 2012, Complex ranked the film at number 1 on the magazine's list of the top 25 DComs ever. In 2015, Dylan Kickman of Entertainment Weekly rated Brink at number 4 on the list of the top 30 DComs. He wrote that along with the hilariously nostalgic lingo, Brink earns its place in the pantheon of great DComs for mixing adrenaline, drama, and one-time Disney golden boy Erik Von Detten.
Adrenaline? Question mark?
Edge of the seats, Jackie.
Were we? Were we though?
Yeah. You know, the thing is though, is like when this movie was like opening, like the opening scene of this film, I was just like, wow, they didn't really give a shit about like camera work for DComs, because it's just
No.
like it's like that opening that when they were going to school, or actually even before that when he's just skating to meet them at the bus. It's just whatever lighting is in the sky. It's like, did they have a scrim? Did they give a shit? No, they didn't. They just are like, hey, it's kind of bright outside, let's just grab the camcorder and go. And it's just like, as far as like interesting camera angles or camera work, there is just none in this movie.
Yeah, especially because it's like a quote unquote sports movie and they're doing so
Right.
many tricks, so you think you're gonna get something, and you really don't. You don't get a lot. All the kids did know how to skate.
I could
I
tell,
don't think any of them had to audition skating except for Christina Vidal, but it seemed that Sam Horrigan, who plays Val, he actually was probably the most skilled skater, but they did not really let all of them do their stunts at all. Even if they knew how to, they switched them out. So for
Yeah, I could
safety.
tell like them going from like point A to point B, it was them. But then
Yeah.
like jumping off the staircase and doing like the ramp stuff was
Yeah.
obviously not them.
And rollerblading was so big back then. Like, if you look at this movie, if you think of the Mighty Ducks movie and even the Power Rangers movie, there's a scene of them rollerblading for some reason. I don't.
Because it's awesome. Because it's awesome.
Well, Walter Emmanuel Jones already knew how to rollerblade because he did the opening scene of Power Rangers movie.
Yep. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say that. Yeah.
He wasn't in that movie.
Was he not in that movie?
No, the producers of that movie screwed him over.
That's
and he
right.
wasn't in it. It's really fucked up.
So this
He was also
his time to shine.
Yeah.
He's also 12 years older than everyone else in that cast.
I don't look, I get it. As a Black actor, especially, if you can get the role, you're gonna do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
He was just trying to make it. But I want to know who the fuck in the hair department
Yes, thank you.
fucked up that man's lineup, because I know it wasn't him. I know it wasn't him. I know he went to work and he expected that the damn person doing his hair was going to know how. It's bad. It's fixed toward the end of the movie, but somebody fucked him up real bad. And I know it wasn't like he chose to go somewhere and do that to himself. No Black man would do that. None.
So there was like a reel on Instagram making fun of his hairline, and during David, you've seen this?
Yeah, that's why I kind of knew a lot about the movie, because like I had seen a couple, one where he just pops up and it's just basically like a fucking perfect half circle on his hair, which is not how that's supposed to look. And then there was another one that was just explaining the whole plot of this movie badly, but not doing it justice.
It was as if someone took a small plate and then took
or like in like Steel Magnolias, they give you like the plastic thing to hold over your face while they hairspray you. Like they just use that to like.
Well, it also made. I thought at first, I was like, is he just that old where his hairline's receding?
No.
And they were like, we can't have that, so we have to like basically make up your hairline in, and they fucked it. But I don't know.
No, he had a perfectly good hairline at that point. I don't know what they were doing. It's like the opposite of a bowl cut. They might have just put a bowl in his face and just cut around it.
Yeah, they did that man dirty.
So dirty. But yeah, the movie starts off with Erik von Detten very happy go lucky in his household. And can we talk about the dad just being the absolute most negative Nancy I've ever seen ever? For like happy. He is putting down his own fucking kid. Papa, I know your back's fucked up, but get off my job.
He's honestly kind of like the worst dad.
He is.
That's his arc. He becomes a really good dad. It's just he's in pain.
Well,
but not in his back, in here.
And then we have to, like, he comes down ready for the first day of or no, they're going to the pit to practice. His hair has not been washed in like 2 weeks.
Yes. You talked about this in our Princess Diaries episode.
I can't.
The greasiness of Erik Von Detten's hair very much bothers Jackie.
It does.
David.
And I like.
I showered yesterday.
I don't. I go a few days without washing my hair, but like, dude, wash it sometime. You're on TV.
Just
Get
look
that
at the
in check.
picture behind you.
Yeah, like, what is that?
It was the style, and it made all the girlies very excited. They loved them some Erik
It
Von
was
Detten.
it was freshly showered. He just took a clump of baby oil and just put it through his hair.
It was gaslighting us into thinking that boys like this were cute and attractive, and it was endearing that they did not bathe.
Never was that. I was never gaslit. Bathing is essential. So yeah, we get a glimpse of Brink, his family life. You see his mom and his dad. We learn that the dad has injured himself. He works in construction, and he is slowly healing and getting better. The mom is a real estate agent, and he has a little sister named Katie, who is the very obnoxious sister in the smart house as well.
I thought so. I thought so.
And
I wonder if she's
again,
hot now.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think that aged well.
Find out.
But
I looked it up for you, buddy. I could tell you right now.
I don't want to, one thing I wanted to mention before we move past this is this movie starts out with the trope of a kid being too busy to eat a breakfast. So he takes a slice of toast, takes one bite from it and sets it down and is like, I'm good for the whole fucking day. I'll survive on this bite of bread.
He also squirts chocolate sauce straight in his mouth. I'm like, there was not even like a milk pour to make.
Yes, there he did.
There?
He
Okay.
got milk from
I must have missed
from
that.
the
He mixed it
fridge.
in his mouth. He like milked and then chocolate sauce and
Got it.
swish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Milk
Classic.
So
first
cool.
is a choice.
That is a choice.
You go sauce first because then the milk hits it and spreads it around.
Yeah.
You tell him, David. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's late. He busts out because his dad he missed the bus.
Yeah.
And it's the weekend. His friends are pissed because it takes a while for the bus to come, and they're going to Venice Beach, where the pit actually is in real life, to go skate, because skate is life.
I've been to the Venice Beach pit.
Oh, you have?
And I can tell you that I can tell you that no one just stands around clapping at like a couple of rollerbladers.
That can't nail a 540.
I can't nail a 540. I mean, who can't nail a 540? Fucking losers.
And when they get there, we beat Beyblades. I know that's not what they're doing.
Yeah, they just start pulling the Beyblades.
What are they called?
The X-Blades.
X-Blades.
Oh,
but
they give it to you.
But they see the Inline magazine guy, and they're like, oh, he must be here for us nobodies who can't even nail a 540. And then, but David, didn't that plot point remind you of Grind?
This movie doesn't deserve to hold the jock strap, doesn't deserve to hold the broken skates of a movie. One thing too is I've watched skateboarding movies, and I watched some skateboarding like events like as a kid. I don't know how impressive like a 540 is in roller skates, because it seems like it's easier to twist in roller skates because you don't have to worry about the board separating.
The wheels are attached to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. That's what I was saying. So the fact that some like what, I don't know how old these kids are. I guess 16 or 17.
Like
the fact
15.
Well, I think I was looking up Christina Vidal was like 17 when she filmed this, so she's supposed to be the age of it. But also, I guess the most famous roller skater in the world is a high school kid in California. Like, he's the best ever.
I think so.
I have points to make once we get to the championship.
I do want to. Did anyone notice that the inline skater magazine guy literally had a hat and it said inline skate space mag?
Did you also notice that they recognized what his hat said in like, so his hat was gray, the font was black, and they could read it from like 50 yards away. They were like, whoa, that guy's hat says inline skating, must be from the magazine.
And then as they're distracted by this, the Beyblades come in. I'm gonna call it that for the rest of this episode.
Please do.
They come in and swoop in and take their spot in the pit. And this is when we meet Val, who I have to say, Sam Horrigan is so good at being an asshole that I wonder if this is his life.
Even because when you mentioned that he looks good as an adult, I looked it up and he always has that like smirk.
No, not Sam Horrigan.
Oh, I thought you meant Sam Horrigan.
No, I meant the best friend of Brink, who
Peter?
also, yes,
Peter.
who I just said he looks way better as an adult. Like
if you were to take Erik and Peter, right, and then you put them side by side, and you would be like, guess which one turns out to be the hotter one in their adult life? You wouldn't necessarily pick Peter, but it would be Peter.
It is Peter, 100%. And I do love, like, I remember loving this movie so much and then being hella excited when the So Weird TV show came out because they were both on it together.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my God, they went from Brink to So Weird. I was very excited.
I love So Weird so much.
Such a good show.
Would you have rather had, though? Would you rather be Erik von Detten, where you're like really hot as like a teen, mid-20s, and like all the girls remember you as Brink? Or do you want to like grow up into the Peter character where everyone's like, oh, you're just the sidekick? Like the fun as a 20-year-old.
No, I want to grow up and be Peter. Because there's nothing worse than a bunch of girls thinking you're fucking hot when you're young and then still holding that in their hearts and then seeing you as an adult and be like, oh. there's a glow up is always better than like crashing and burning.
Like
and
I guess I'm talking about the journey though.
No, nobody cares about the journey. The glow up is like, damn.
David is just wondering how much poo-tang he would have gotten if he looked like Erik when he was that age. That's what it.
I'm not wondering. I'm surmising it was a lot.
I just also think, like, wouldn't it be better to be hotter when you're older? Because like nobody knew what they were doing with their parts back then. Like you weren't even enjoying it. Like, I'm just saying.
I could see that too. I could be like, you're much more like knowledgeable and refined as an adult, and then it's like, well,
Peter, the guy who plays Peter, has 4 kids now. He's getting it in.
I think Erik it looks like has a kid and a wife too, so he's settled down from his days.
His Brink days.
He has 1 kid.
I'm sure they've had sex more than once.
I don't think the amount of children equates to the amount of time you've done it, Danielle.
I'm just saying.
Because then that would mean David has had more sex than me, and we know that's not true. So
Dave is the number 1 stunner over there having another baby.
Yeah. If you do it, you don't have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? A lot. You don't have to just make up stuff. So
dead. I'm dead. Okay.
Anywho,
Brink is getting back at Val and the Beyblades by going up to the skateboarding crew and like shit talking, but like, this is what this guy is saying about you. Like,
I just don't see skateboarders being that like giving a shit.
They're
like,
too stoned to do anything.
I really hope we were gonna get a cameo from like Tony Hawk.
Some of those dudes though, like, look damn near 30 that they went to go talk to. I'm like, why would these 30-year-olds go try to beat up a bunch of kids?
Because they're fucking loser 30-year-olds who sit around at a skate park. That's why. So they're like, fuck it, let's just beat up some 12-year-olds.
It's not only that. I was wondering like the audacity of going up to a bunch of like teenagers, threatening to beat them up on the fact that just some other teenagers said that they said some shit.
Yeah.
But not only that, but they're getting their photos taken with an adult, with their adult coach or sponsor or whatever he is. And I'm like, you're gonna get like immediately stopped. Like, I don't even see the point of this. And what they said words to you, like they whatever.
And he yoked him up real quick, but also like it's quite evident that the guys that the soul skaters set them up, because they're over there laughing right there. It's real dumb, real dumb. But they got even, and then we get to school. And now this is where I kind of feel like things are a little weird, because it's just like when they get to school, they start with the guys again, even though they got even the day before. So it's like, okay, now you're not getting bullied. You're just starting shit back and forth with these guys.
Yeah.
But that reminds me, Alon, I still owe you.
David, we were walking down a path the other day, and he like kicks me in the back of the ankle, and I kind of tripped. So to get back at him without looking, because I just
you
knew
kicked
he was...
me in my fucking knee. So yeah, we're not even.
And then he's been like scaring me all the while, being like, "I'm gonna get you," and I just never know when it's coming.
But David, you
that's the fun
started
part.
it, no?
Mine was a jokey, just
I
lightly
kicked
Don't
kicked
start
his
no
foot.
shit, won't be no shit. It's over.
And I'm continuing the shit. It ain't over. I mean, I'll probably forget about it, honestly. But
it's gonna end in one of us fucking murdering each other. Okay.
the fun of it, and what Alon should have realized, the fun of it is having the power of being the one who owes the other. And he should have he didn't hold on to it long enough.
It's like the smack on How I Met Your Mother.
Yes. Exactly. Towards the end, he was like, can you please just do it? I don't like
the anticipation of it all. Let's hear a word from our pod pals.
If you grew up on Disney shows, music, websites, and DComs, the Time Machine is ready for you to take a journey back to those golden days.
Join us as we talk the golden age of Disney Channel, the stars it introduced, and more. If it aired at 8/7 Central, it's fair game, baby.
We see Val throws someone's shoes on the power line.
It's Peter's shoes.
Oh, Peter. But Gabriella, her mom forces her. Gabriella is from Peru, which is said multiple times. And
go back to Mexico.
Yeah, real fucked up shit, Val. Racist ass motherfucking Val.
That's a Disney problem, though. That's like the fact that they were like, this is a good line, let's put in this kid's movie.
Yeah.
And now we have a bunch of adults telling people to go back to Mexico and wondering where it came from.
Yeah.
Brink!
It came
Brink
from Brink.
is the cause of this.
Brink, yeah.
Oh, so Gabriella's mom made her wear a dress to school. So Gabriella has her Converse that she gives to Peter to wear. And then to get back at Val, they literally take all of the earthworms from science class and shove them on a sandwich like Val wouldn't notice.
It's probably the most iconic scene of the entire movie.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? Then they didn't just start with Val. Val, I forgot about the shoes thing. Mm-hmm. So they were just getting even. Okay.
Yeah.
Then valid. Totally okay.
Did you guys think that they were setting up Gabriella having a thing for Peter?
Yeah.
Yes.
And in my mind, I remember them having a thing. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. But it also could be just the fact that we're trained to, every time we see these kind of movies, if there's a girl, that there has to be some sort of relationship. And I kind of like that they didn't have a relationship. They were just a bunch of kids having fun, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then to get even, to prove who's dominant, I don't know.
Wait, but you're skipping a very important part.
What did we skip?
Which is this random ass fucking teacher who comes out of nowhere. Like, he doesn't. Okay, she doesn't even come when he's charging at them. He just gets up and is like, what the fuck?
He spits.
And she's like, you got a problem? Like, she is so in his face. And like, and also, like, she doesn't give a shit. It was very interesting.
Yeah, I got a problem. They just gave me a worm sandwich that I ate.
Get over it.
Yeah, get over it.
Over it.
She's on Team Soul Skater.
She was just, all the adults in this movie, with the exception of the mom, are very
trash.
Like, sad and depressed and
Yeah.
hate life.
Yeah. It's also what's like, what do you call it? A Y2K version of yourself, remembering you watching this film. For me, I remember like the worms, like obviously it's real earthworms when it's in the science lab.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I think even when they put it on the sandwich, it looks pretty believable, right?
Yeah.
I remember so vividly that when he bites into it, it looks so real. And now him doing it, I'm like, those are gummy worms. That's so obvious.
It makes like a crunch noise too, which grosses me out.
Because it's the dirt that's left over in there.
So yes, Jackie, like you were saying, to really get even and say who's the real man, they decide to skate at school.
This course is elaborate. They move picnic tables.
Yeah.
They gather all of the trash cans. And it's like the entire school is outside in the breezeway watching this relay race happen.
Where are the fucking teachers?
All the
Where are
teachers are in class are like, where the fuck is my students?
I would like to see a
the
real
teachers
world
are actually
map
saying
Yes, a
of
map
this school. Like how they
Yes.
set this up.
The teachers are actually saying, I get a few more minutes of quiet. I'm not gonna
like, I don't fucking care. They don't pay me enough. But yeah, they do this relay race and it starts with Gabby. I do love that she turns to the guy and says, "You're real quiet. I like the quiet type or whatever." And this kid has the biggest grin on his face and she's like, "Eat my dust, bitch." I loved it. I ate it up.
The Letty of soul skating.
I wanted I was like, did Letty from Fast and the Furious steal her like entire vibe from Gabby? Like,
yes.
Gabby walks so Letty can run.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, I remember like being like having a real big crush on her watching this when I was like 12 years old. I was
Christina Vidal was that
damn.
bitch. She still is.
Is she
I'm
still
36 and I just developed a new one. So
on the adult version of her, right, David?
I looked at pictures of her. Yes.
Jesus, man.
She's on a new show called Primo on Freevee, and I love her on that too. We did a tribute video or something for her, and she commented on Instagram, and I thought I was gonna die.
Every once in a while, we get a celebrity like that reshares their comments, and we're like, "This is it.
This is life. I've peaked." So yeah, now they have this obstacle course. They're racing and Soul Skaters are in the lead. And then the Black Power Ranger falls. Boomer hurts himself. And then Brink was like, "Oh my God, dude, it's a cramp. I know this life." Like, no, he's like, "I'm going to help you." And Boomer's like, "What are you doing, man? You're going to lose, man. What are you doing?" And because, Val is out that bitch. He don't give a shit about nobody. And then the way that Brink is like, "You go to the school nurse and get ice stat." Like it's not that serious.
I like the hard cut, and then he's in his dad's car, and his dad's like, wow, it's a real new record, huh? Like 4 hours into the school year, and you're already expelled or suspended.
He's like, "It's just for one day."
You don't understand the stakes of this race. Like the movie wanted to set up a race, but couldn't come up with a really good idea of what the race is about, and so the stakes are
you own the worms.
What?
You own the worms of the science lab now. Those are yours now.
The stakes were either we're gonna keep fucking with you if we win, or we'll leave you alone if we lose. And I was just like, but you haven't even been messing with them that much. Like it was just all back and forth. Yeah, like I don't even understand. It was just like, we need a race.
Don't think too hard on it, David. It's gonna hurt your brain. It hurts mine.
I like how he introduced the race idea too. Like Val, he just like flipped over a trash can, and Brink is like, "Nice trash can." I don't know what you're doing with that, but it's a nice trash can.
So yeah, Brink gets in trouble, and the next day they're back at school, and they're back together, and they're talking about like how their parents reacted, and obviously Gabriella's mom was like yelling at her.
Yeah.
Peter's dad. Well, we learned that Peter, the way Peter talks about, and I'm assuming it's his stepdad,
It is
super fucking weird.
There's
Yeah.
abuse.
Jerry.
Like it's alluding to abuse.
Yes.
But then
Yes.
later on, when he's on the phone, it's like I thought his stepdad was gonna come in and beat his ass because he's like,
Yes.
"I'm on the phone." I was like, "Dude, don't talk to
He
Jerry like
didn't even
that."
say he didn't even say that. He was like, you can use it after I'm done. It was like, do you pay the bills, motherfucker? What's going on? Jerry has to use the goddamn phone.
He's probably
Well,
use the internet. He needs him off so he can like download porn.
Right. And I don't even know what the other friend's name is. What's his name?
Jordy.
Jordy. Yeah. Jordy said his parents just stared.
Yeah.
Pride.
Well, and Brink, because he gets the majority of it from his dad in the car on the way home, his conversation with his parents really doesn't happen, but he overhears them talking about their money issues.
Yeah.
And so now he's concerned that like his family doesn't have enough money to pay the bills and things like that. The car overheats on the way home, so that's
Oh, that's
another bill
right.
that they have to pay.
I remember when Disney, you're in poverty in a Disney decom, when you own like a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in a suburban
California neighborhood,
like a couple miles from Venice Beach, and you got a backyard and maybe a pool, and yeah, and no, we're falling on hard times, kids.
Yeah. Casey,
I looked at
Katie
that
needs
dinner
braces.
table. That dinner table was full with
Yeah.
Yep.
real, like the outside of the grocery store, not the aisle food,
Mhm.
but like fresh food was on that
Also,
table.
how did the dad get injured as a construction manager?
He fell off. They said he
He
fell.
fell off of a beam.
Yeah.
Like, what was he doing up there?
He was inspecting. He was bossing people around, I
Just
guess.
like, oh, that hammer work
I
looks
like-
great.
I like how they gave his family like a 2 household income,
Yeah.
and then she's like, okay, so what does she do? Oh, she's a real estate agent.
And he's
who
like,
is
did you show any
horrible at her
houses?
job?
Yeah.
It's not horrible. It just takes, like, you're not going to sell a house every day, but he's like,
No,
yeah,
I
many
know
showings.
that. I know that. But what's so funny is she's like, well, I didn't show any today, but tomorrow seems promising. I don't know.
He was just an asshole about it. Like, don't do that to me. But
No.
maybe she should switch to something a little bit more substantial.
You know,
Yeah.
though, maybe it's like she's in this, like it's California, right? Like you get like 36% commission. She sells the right home. They're set for like the year, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So
They both have very not consistent jobs. Like, not, I don't want to say not consistent, because obviously there's a
like
lot
a
of
construction manager could be consistent.
Yeah, but
Like he
it's
injured
also
himself. So
yeah. Oh boy. Anywho,
You find out that Boomer is out of the invitational. And so the Beyblades are looking for a replacement for him. But Soul Skaters skate for fun, but they don't skate for endorsements.
Fucking
So-
idiots.
I think the Olympic team literally listens to Brink's motivational talks about having fun and being soul skater, what it means to be a soul skater. I think for real that they listen to that. That
Mm.
motivates them.
We don't need money.
Money?
Mm.
Why? Why would we need money?
it's funny because it's like the same storyline as the Mighty Ducks, but reverse, where they were like, oh, we need to get sponsored by the law firm to like
Yeah.
continue this. And so that's a movie that like treats sponsorship as like a good thing. But then this movie is like, oh, it's the devil. I just
Against
find that
capitalism
against
on Disney
capitalism.
Channel.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I find funny about this part right here is apparently Val has this whole scheme to get Brink to be on the team by going up to him and telling him you're not allowed on the team. And then when he shows up anyway, being like, no, yeah, I told you, you can't. And like,
And then he's like,
just
fine.
leave. Okay, 30 seconds.
I think Val secretly wanted Brink to be his best friend, and I think
His
he
lover?
loved Brink. Yeah, I think he was very jealous that Brink and his talent wanted to be this like low life soul skater with these losers, and instead of being, he's the Draco Malfoy before Draco Malfoy, because we all
was.
know
They
that Draco
have-
really wanted Harry to be his friend.
They have chemistry.
They
or
do.
not chemistry. Well, maybe, but they have like a history, right? Like they
Yeah.
knew each other before the beginning of this movie. And imagine like a hard cut in the middle of this movie where it's just a flashback of them as like middle schoolers being like, "You want to skate with me?" And it's like Brink's like, "No." And then from then on, Val is like, "You're my mortal enemy."
He just trains every day to get better than Brink at roller skating.
Can I be honest? Is the 30 seconds that they gave Brink, I could not tell how good he was compared to everyone else that was previous. I was like, I don't see the talent there.
You didn't see the soul skating in action?
Dude, he was so much higher. He was doing shit that no one could do.
Like a 540. I knew it. Damn it.
Yes. So
Well, he gets on the team. He makes it.
So yeah, he secretly goes, he tells his friends that he has to leave early from their practice, goes, tries out, gets on the Beyblade. So now he's doing this thing where he's like, he's on the Beyblades to earn money, but then he's also like keeping it a secret from his friends, so showing up to their practices. And then the Beyblades coach is like, you have to tell your parents. So he goes home and tells his dad, like, hey, I found a way to make money after school. His dad's on skating real hard.
It's so dumb.
It's not even like he's saying, I don't want you to work at all. You're too young. I don't want you to have this responsibility. I want you to focus on school. But his only like caveat is like, it can't be skating.
Yeah.
$200 a week in 98 for a kid.
Yeah.
And then he goes to work. If you look at his day where they show us his entire day, he worked for 90 minutes. So what did he make? $10?
Yeah.
And then the other
Up
thing
and Suds pays good, okay?
The dad also told him, you can skate as much as you want, you just can't get paid for it. He never told him to stop skating at all. He's like, you skate all the time. I don't want you to get paid for it.
I needed a little bit more of something.
Like, remember you broke your leg and went through all this physical therapy. Like, we don't want you skating at all.
Right.
Like, something.
Yeah. But it wasn't that. It was, you can't be paid. I thought it was going to come to a reveal where the dad used to skate and he was like hexed by it, but that never came either.
Or the company was like a company that treated him like shit. Like, there was just no fucking real reason. So he's out here. It's showing him going to his 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And school and practice with the
it makes no sense. Like, to do that, it shows him waking up at 7 a.m. and I was like, physically to do that, you would have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to fit all that in.
Yeah. And then at night he's still doing homework.
And then like, I like how it showed literally one day of him doing that and then immediately sick, but not really sick, but immediately sick.
Well, because he agreed to be on the Beyblades only until Boomer recovered and could return. And so he just has to get to the invitationals. So now it's the day of the invitationals. Peter goes to check on him. Brink is pretending like he's sick so that doesn't have to go to practice with the soul skaters. And as soon as Peter leaves, he hops out of bed, goes to the invitationals.
But he tells him not to go to the invitational.
Yeah,
like,
he's gaslighting Peter. Like,
red flag.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know why he didn't just tell his friends. Like, I don't think it would have been a big deal to say, like, hey, my parents are financially strapped.
Yeah.
I hate these evil corporate people, but I don't see another solution to help me make some money and help my family. They would have totally understood.
And
unless they wouldn't.
Where he tried to tell them, but then Jerry got involved. So,
right. Well, and then also when he tells Gabby, she's like, "We're all poor. We all need money." Yeah. But I do think they wouldn't have been as mad at him.
Well, he should have told Gabby, get better. And maybe you could have been on that Beyblades.
Well, she couldn't have because she's, a woman, a person of color. And so they were not, I mean, there's some undertones from Val about who he'll allow on that team.
Very true.
This is true.
One thing I want to say that it's a little bit back, but it also relates to what we're about to do. So they win, and then the big boss guy is he Arnie? I can't fucking remember his name. Who the
leader of the X Forces?
X-Wing.
Where the fuck did that come from? I think G-Force is the name of the team that loses when the
Hamsters?
dude gets a concussion at the end.
Oh yes.
His name Geoffrey
Oh.
Blake. Jimmy, is that the man?
It might be him.
I think
But-
G-Force is a hamster movie.
It is.
Okay.
Holy shit. What is wrong with you?
And
So when they win the invitational, he gives Brink $200. He's like, hey, I take care of people when they win. I was like, bro, that was part of the deal when he signed up, that when you win, you get $200. But also, he comes up to them when Brink is going to sign up. He's like, I made $10 million in merchandise last year. And that's when I started to do some math and realized that he pays these kids a combined $43,000 to $50,000 a year. And then makes
Off of 10 million
and then
sales.
he makes $10 million, maybe even just gross in sales off of these kids. It's
And
fucking like worse than
how-
Willy Wonka.
How is he making that much money off of just this random?
They're not
wad of
random.
Kids?
They're the best skaters in the world. That's what it says at the end of the movie, that these are the best, are these fucking high school kids.
that all happen to go to
really-
the same school.
You know, though, if these bunch of high school kids are the best skaters in the world, and that's what this movie is saying, it really dumbs down the skating people like out there, being like,
Yes.
oh damn,
Just other countries haven't gotten to it yet.
yeah, just this
Like
rollerblading thing.
once we allow them to, it's pretty much we're screwed over here.
I mean, but it's not wrong, and it's actually talked about a lot, especially in the skateboarding community. Like, they're even to this day trying to figure out, like, should we cut off an age? Can you be pro at such a young age? Because these kids are starting younger and
Mhm.
younger now, and they're just like outperforming the adults in tricks and abilities at this point.
They're evolving faster than we can keep up.
Yeah. So, I mean, and if you think about in the 80s and the 90s, that culture, like, yeah, everybody was really young when they started because it just wasn't a thing. They were still figuring out the rules, figuring out what to do. So it is kind of weird, but I also don't think it's that unbelievable at the time.
Yeah, and like I think I watched that Tony Hawk documentary a little while ago, and his dad was kind of integral in like helping to set up competition, stuff like that. So it was a very like kind of tight knit community, and all the best people kind of knew each other and competed against each other. So yeah, it does make sense. It's just funny that they're like, I don't know. It's just like
It's just
all the best skaters in the world are right here
On
in
the
this
Beyblades.
county.
Well, if it would be anywhere, it would be Venice Beach. So
So we've been there before.
because I've been there before. Yeah. Because so we get to the point where his friends now know that he
Mhm.
skates for them, and they're not the happy campers about it. And we get to the point where they're having these rivalries, kind of a mirror thing of what happened in the beginning, where they wanted the pit, but they already had the pit.
Yes.
So now they have this like downhill course that they can't share, but it's a road. It's a road. And I love like the foreshadowing of Brink kind of spacing out and Val being like, can you get your head in the game? And he's like, it'd be really cool to jump off that roof back onto the street. And it'd be like, nah, that'll never happen.
foreshadowing.
And he's like, what are you thinking? And he's like, yeah, that sounds fun. And he goes, fun? We're not here to have fun. So put on your roller skates and let's go down this hill, okay?
Let's be men about this, okay?
Be men about it, please.
Also,
We
if
got a
their
job
entire
to do.
team goes down the hill, it's going to take them like 30 fucking minutes to get back up that hill
Yes.
roller skating. Like, just wait for them to go and then you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they have to
it's-
race. They have to race.
They do. And so it's Gabriella and Brink who have to race. And Val is a dirty, dirty bird and tells Brink to take the outside. And Brink's like, why would I ever take the outside? But whatever. And it's because Val goes and throws gravel on the inside. And Brink tries to warn Gabriella, but I mean, she's going downhill at 40 miles an hour. There's not much she can do at this point.
Dude,
and the
that
way
jump,
her body flips through the air.
not even that. I was talking about earlier, that jump she makes off of the
Oh
lawn,
yeah, yeah.
the lawn people truck
Yes.
was awesome. That was like badass.
That was
And
very
even the
inclusive. You
guys
said
were like,
lawn
"Holy
people.
shit!"
Lawn people. Yeah.
Lawn people. She
I-
falls, rolls like 7 times, ends up, it's not a broken arm because she has a weird kind of sling.
Yeah.
And
She
it's
might have
like she has
sprained it
road
or something.
rash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just the way that he goes and gets the gravel and just kind of like I died
Like I'm pretty
laughing.
sure there would be bigger rocks on the road accidentally than
Yeah,
him throwing
right.
2 little piles of gravel on the road.
And do you know how much I get the plot of this movie and the extremely goofy movie confused in my brain?
Oh, damn.
Wait, the second one?
Yes,
Oh my
because there's like
God.
a whole rival. It's the same. I don't know what movie came out first, but it's the same fucking plot.
Let me see.
I think this one came out first because I think Goofy movie came out around the time of this.
Yeah, because I think a Goofy movie came out in '95.
This
Oh.
one came out in
Extremely Goofy
98.
movie was 2000.
Oh my God.
Oh, 98. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie, yes, the plots are very similar. You've got a long-haired, preppy guy who's an asshole, and then you have Max and his friends who
And then
are,
Max goes to skate for them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking plot.
Yeah.
Except for
Yeah, somehow Goofy plays is a better father than Brink's dad.
yeah, well, that's no question.
He turns it around. They have a heart to heart in a little bit.
Yeah, they do. So Gabriella is fucked up. Brink is fucked up for, he feels bad. He goes to go visit Gabriella, and she gives him this lecture about reminding him what soul skating is about and puts him on notice about his shit.
Really underrated sweet moment is between Gabriella's mom and Brink. Like when she opens the door and she's like, "Oh, Brink." She maybe she knows it's his fault in a weird way. Maybe she doesn't. But like she's just like, "You're a good kid. You're my daughter's friend, and I accept you."
She loves him. Yeah.
I expected like a more stereotypical like Latin like
Hola,
from a Disney
mommy.
Channel movie.
What do you want?
No, not that. Please stop. I don't. Alon's thoughts don't represent me. That she was gonna be like more upset with Brink.
Yeah.
And instead, she was just very like, "Oh, you kids will work out whatever disagreements you have, and yes, go see her." And that's probably also just plot convenience wise. They needed Brink to go talk to Gabby.
Oy,
Yeah.
pendejo. What did you do to my daughter?
And then the next scene is Brink talking to his dad. He finds his old skates in the garage, and his dad's been saving him. So his dad doesn't really hate skating.
Well, he says, why do you still have these? And his dad's answer is so convoluted and
so weird.
He's like, well, I don't know. Maybe we thought we were going to have more kids. What? Because I don't believe Katie wore those things. Okay.
No.
And then secondly, he's like, or maybe me and your mom are just a bunch of pack rats. Why not just say, I saved these because you love the sport and we love seeing you in them? Like, it's so ass backwards.
Katie was a twin, but she absorbed her twin, and it's like goes into this whole thing. Like, man, you were gonna have a brother.
And so Brink tries to, he tells his dad the reason why he did it was he wanted to be somebody, and like the prestige that came along with having that endorsement. And his dad says, "You're defined by the company you keep and how well you keep them." And so that brings Brink back to the Soul Skaters, because
somebody needs to put that on a pillow immediately.
He has this line like, "You aren't what you do. You're defined by like the people in your life." And it just reminded me of like the Mewtwo line from the Pokemon movie that everyone makes fun of. Like, "I see now the circumstances of your birth. It's like what you do with life." It's just like, it's fucking so deep from this guy who's just like been an asshole the whole movie.
I just think of the Sister Act 2 song, "If You Wanna Be Somebody." I don't remember the words, but that was it.
Excellent job.
Better wake up and pay attention. Yeah, I remember now.
It's like a blanket lesson, right? Like you could throw this on like any sort of similar movie, but it's how you word it is accompanies like the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also agreed with the dad. Like, your job doesn't matter. It's just like, do people think you're an asshole? Like, people think Val's an asshole. Like, so don't be an asshole, is what you're saying to him.
This setup, though, how they did it throughout the whole movie, from the beginning to the end, with Boomer and Gabriella, on how Brink will always go back and help the opposing person he's going against, and have it set up where Val is now the one injured, but Val knows this about Brink. I was just like, the most
Mind blown.
evil
The
plan.
diabolical genius of Val. So it's like the conversation with Dad concludes in saying Dad wants to go to the championship and
Right.
watch. And Brink's like, you want to watch me skate? And so that relationship is whole again.
Yeah. And he has to go fix it with his friends. He offers to be on the team with them again. You know, they give him a hard time, but of course they agree, and they get sponsored.
Yeah.
His job didn't lead to nothing. They get
Pups
a
and
sponsorship.
suds.
Well, he sponsored them though, right? Like he had to pay for all of it with his salary. What I thought was really funny at that, so like right before that, he throws his skates at like Val's table.
You're right. We missed
And I was like,
climax
that's
of it.
kind of rough. Why are you doing that? And he's like, you could have killed her. I was like, oh yeah, the Gabby thing. That's why he's doing that. Oh yeah, I forgot.
I was
And
just so upset that the pizza was ruined by those skates.
And then Boomer, the Black Ranger, gets in the way and is like, no. He's like, oh, you've turned on me too, bro.
No, the milkshake straight to the face is the best thing ever. Like Val's expression when he gets hit with that is just like, what just happened?
And that's not a milkshake. That is like a Wendy's Frosty consistency.
So
looks good.
Sam Horrigan, the actor who plays Val, said that when they filmed that, I think in like Venice area or whatever, and it was very cold. It was like towards the end of the day.
I've been there.
And
I know.
And he said that they did like 7 or 8 takes of that, and he was like, it was just so fucking cold more than anything.
You know what I thought was funny too? After this, Gabby's like, so I heard you threw a vanilla milkshake in his face. I was like, how is that a detail that they got wrong? Like
Chocolate.
It's
like
chocolate.
he's like, chocolate actually. I was like, okay, Keanu. But like that's a detail you would have remembered with the chocolate hitting his pale white face. Like I
Yes.
don't understand in the telephone game that was played how like they got it wrong.
Can we also talk about how Val was offended that someone would give him a strawberry milkshake because that apparently was feminine?
I mean, I was a little boy growing up, and I kind of agreed. Like,
I missed that.
What
happened?
So first of all, you have 2 girls who are constantly in this movie, but like have 0 real words or anything, and he treats them as such, as like props. And
they're the ones that hang out with him.
Yeah, and they bring him like the milkshakes or whatever, and he's like, strawberry. What do I look like, a girl? Like the way he says, I don't even know what he says, but he referenced that. How dare you bring me strawberry ice cream? That's
so he's racist. He's sexist.
Well, the girl too got offended, right? The blonde girl,
Yeah.
and she's also the pretty girl that like starts the race, kind of like Fast and the Furious, the one that drops the like
the flag.
Oh man.
Gosh.
So she didn't have nothing to do. She just
Yeah, you're right. She did do something. She did something.
So now we're at the
Competition
championship, which is, as you have stated, the nation's top 10 teams. How did Team Pup and Suds, that weren't even really a team, get to be in the nation's top 10?
no explanation
Plot
from the Disney Channel on
convenience.
this. Somehow ESPN is there.
Scouts are there.
Yeah.
We're soul skaters again, Team Pup and Suds. So we start competing, and the announcers are just like, Brink is a really creative skater. Like,
They say that right. They say that right after saying they've never seen him. Like they don't really recognize him.
He's up
newcomer
and coming
Brink.
creative skater guy.
You know, it's also my favorite part too. Is so like right before they start, Val comes over and makes fun of them again, and then there's this 4th dude who got added to the team, and he just like doesn't say anything, and it's like I don't really understand all the beef that's going on between you guys. I'm kind of new here, so I'm just gonna keep it shut.
Well, I thought what they were going to do is like Gabby hurt her arm, so she can't skate, and
Yes.
so they have Brink back, but they're like, we're still short a guy. Like, what are we gonna do? We're still short someone. And then fucking Boomer comes and he's like, I'm on your team now. And I was like, that never happened, and that kind of sucks that didn't happen. Honestly,
I'm glad Gabriella was better and she got.
I'm glad too. But how badass would have like the twist at the end would have been like, Boomer's here, bitch. It's like,
Maybe
And then he
Boomer-
would have gone Black Ranger power, and it would have been off.
They would have all like their rollerblades would have connected. It would have been like a little dinosaur.
I just imagine Walter Jones was like the best at the crowd reaction shots that they needed, where he's like, yeah, and then, oh man.
I love how Katie tells him to skate better after he like falls.
Oh, yeah.
Like skate
Just
better.
skate better.
I just have
Yeah.
some advice. Skate better. And
She
I love how
says that he's a moody little sack of hormones.
yes.
Oh
Katie
yeah, at
has
the
some
dinner
lines.
table.
And she does has some lines. And we find out the dad had a meeting with his boss, and we find out that he did not get fired, and they asked him to come back on Monday, which is great. And Brink finds out right before he's about to do his amazing whatever ramp thing that he did.
I actually like how it wasn't that won them the thing. It was
Yes.
Peter who finally nailed the 540 that
Yes.
wins them that round.
I loved that younger me was very excited with Peter's dancing skills when he did very well.
Did you notice like how weird the music was for the skateboarding and the vert?
The montage, yeah.
Yeah, the montage and then the song before that, like it didn't match
Any of the other
like it
music.
didn't match the vibe at all. Like it,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just open source music they ran out of like money, but it didn't work. I was like, what are they doing here? Like I don't get it.
The soundtrack though for this was pretty good. I thought it had a lot of cool music, and
It did not.
It didn't. I loved it when I was younger.
The most lame ska
I
So
loved
music.
generic at the
I
end,
loved it when I was younger. It was like the best.
I think I
Like,
recognized one song. I think one song was like pretty okay, and then the other ones were like okay.
yeah.
It was the kids bop of ska.
Well, then I ate it up. Just like I posted a Kids Bop video on our Instagram, and it's the boy singing "Me and Your Daughter." Got some things going on. Cracks me up every time.
So now it's the finale, which is one skater from each team on the downhill. So of course it's Brink and it's Val, and they're doing the little squatty thing to be aerodynamic.
Squatty thing.
That's what they're doing.
I love that a kid had to get a concussion for Pup and Suds to even make it, and they're just like,
yeah.
oh dude, as that guy's getting carted off, we're in the finals.
They did withhold themselves from like
Yeah, I know.
laugh, I don't know.
Cheering too much.
Celebrating about it. Yeah. The best line in the whole movie, in my opinion, is when Val fakes his injury and pulls Brink down, and you have the camera guys on the scene
Right
behind
there,
him,
like
and he goes, "Did you get
Did you
that?"
get
He
it?
goes, "Yeah, I got all of it."
which happens in a goofy movie, extremely goofy movie. I think they catch them cheating.
Danielle,
It's
that's a
the same.
TikTok. So Val also tries to hit Brink at one time, and then Val he fakes that injury, pulls Brink down. So Brink's losing time. Val is cruising down the hill, but then Brink takes a jog through the alleyway, and you think Val's gonna win it all, and then here comes Brink sailing over like cars and shit, lands back on the road, and they're neck and neck. And Brink like pulls away at the very end to win it.
Is that an official shortcut? Like, what are we doing here? Can
Right, like,
we
no-
can just fucking skip the course.
Yeah,
We don't have to
After
do the
he-
whole thing.
After
well,
the
the guy
guy
have cheated.
right, if he cheated, so it's just like there's no rules anymore.
The concussed team should have won by default.
Concussed.
Yes. That's what I agree. G-force.
We've
got
all been
screwed.
concussed. The weird thing too is like there's cameras and you see the camera angle. Even the mom makes a comment like, "What happened to the feed?" And someone has to explain to her like it's a blind spot in the race, which has no relevancy to the entire plot ever.
Yeah.
And so they turn the corner and then now they can see their kids skating down the hill. What's weird too is like the camera guy goes out of his way to say, "Did you get that?" Which means, "Did you get Val cheating?" And he's like, the other guy's like, "Yeah, I got it all." We don't see anyone in the crowd watching that and being like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, what a fucking cheater." We only get one line from someone in the crowd like booing Val, and that's it. They're like, "You
No,
cheater."
Yeah, they do. You don't see it, but people are like, cheater, you
But
suck,
also-
or whatever.
Brink is a cheater too.
He
you.
didn't
Thank you.
cheat, Jackie. He
Well,
just
maybe-
took a different way.
Well, maybe that's what Alon's saying, when they're saying like, oh, there's a blind spot. Maybe that was the point, is they didn't see Brink cheat. And so that's the point of the Disney
Ah.
movie. Like, just don't get caught cheating.
Ah,
But then also the owner of Team X-Blades comes up to Brink and says, hey, dude, my boy cheated over there. He's off the team. Do you want to be on the team? So that is them saying that like the crowd saw it. But then Brink says no. And I just imagine that the guy's like, okay, fucking Val's back on the team.
Yeah.
Like, I need somebody.
I'll take the cheater then.
I love that when Brink wins, the first person he hugs, he picks up his sister
His
Katie. He's like,
sister.
Katie, and then throws her, like literally chucks her to the side. Best part of the fucking movie.
It's very much a Disney trope to like make enemies with your friends, make enemies with your parents, and then systematically in the order in which you made enemies from, go backwards and mend things, right?
Right.
So when he's like being congratulated, it's his family first, and then he ends it with his friends.
Yeah.
But in
And
the
then we
beginning of the
get-
movie, you see him with his family and then his friend. I thought that was kind of an interesting parallel.
And then it ends on that classic freeze frame.
Don't you forget about me.
You know, I don't understand.
That's
I don't
Brink.
I don't understand the lesson of this movie is that it's like, if you have a passion, just don't get paid to do that passion. Instead, get a job you hate. And then like on your free time, you can explore your passion for free instead of like, I don't know, making a ton of money doing the thing you love.
That's why we're all podcasters.
Yeah, 100%. I do want to read this tweet that I found as I was doing research to find any kind of fun facts. That movie Brink from Disney is the best thing white people have ever done.
Is it?
I'll take it.
That's from @Chuck_strangers.
Well, that was before the Barbie movie came out. So maybe
I
second now.
don't know.
That's
You know what would be so funny? You know what would be so funny, Danielle, is that if you read that tweet and the Twitter handle was like, not Erik Von Deeten.
Well, some fun facts we missed. Brie Larson auditioned for the role of
Larson.
Katie. And the movie was loosely based on the novel Hans Brinker or The Silver Skates by Mary Mapes Dodge.
And Brink was
Uh,
the
yeah.
third DCOM ever created. Woo.
What were the
And
first two?
Gosh, what was the first one? I think it is the Under the Bed one is one of the first ones.
Don't look
that-
under the bed.
Yeah. I'll look it up. But
I'm looking it up right now.
Fucking classic
Okay.
Alon thing to ask you a question.
I always ask questions that David's not prepared.
Under Wraps.
Under Wraps is the mummy one.
Yes.
I love that.
What was number
one.
2?
You lucky dog.
Never heard of it.
Let's
All right,
hear it.
guys, why don't you tell everybody before we get into our ratings what your social handles are so that they can find you and your podcast?
We are I finally watched on Instagram and then finally watched on Twitter.
And don't forget to follow us at No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Threads. To start with you, Alon, what was your present day rating of Brink?
2-day rental.
Okay. David?
I'm going
Same
surprisingly, I'm going 5-day rental. This was
Interesting.
actually a lot better than I thought. I think it's because my expectations were so low. So like when we planned this and you're like, we want to do Brink, I was like, fuck me, I have to watch Brink. And then I watched it and I was like, this is actually way better than I expected. And it's also like the things that were bad about it were like fun bad about it instead of just like, if this movie was made today by the Disney Channel, you'd be like, I can't even make it through this dialogue. It's so
Right.
bad. But it was a lot better than I thought. So
I tried to watch this during the pandemic and I had to stop because I was like, God, I don't remember this being so fucking bad.
Mm.
So when we had to watch it for this, I was like, I can't do it. I don't know if I can do it. But then when I rewatched it this time, I was like, oh, it's not the worst thing we've seen on this show, but I definitely don't love it the way that I did when I was younger. It's very corny and ridiculous. And do I see myself rewatching it again? Probably not. I'll give it a 2-day. I think it's a 2-day rental for me.
Woof.
Jackie?
Same day rental for me.
Yeah.
I just went through the entire list of DCOMs that
Mhm.
were produced by Disney True DCOMs.
Uh-huh.
Out of that list, I lost count at 50. There's probably like 75 on here. I have seen one. Not including Cheetah Girls and now Brink that I have watched.
Xenon? Was Xenon the one you saw?
No,
Ooh,
the one
Xenon's a
I
good one.
saw was in 2015, The Descendants.
What?
Oh, the villain, the kids of the
Did your
villains.
mom read that book?
No,
Oh, I'm just
it
trying to
just seemed like a
understand.
cool premise for
Oh,
a movie.
okay.
Was it a good movie?
It was entertaining. I didn't
Okay.
hate it.
I've seen all
Um,
of them. I'm not gonna lie.
Then why are you questioning me?
Yeah, do
I'm
you like
questioning
it?
you watching them. We
In
know
2015.
I will watch it. Oh yeah, I every now and again I'll watch it. A
They're
Disney movie.
entertaining.
Yeah.
It's the offspring of the villains and the heroes.
Yeah.
It's basically Once Upon a Time for kids.
Yeah.
Yes. Except
I'm out of
less
it.
convoluted because that show got real crazy at times.
Everyone's each other's mother. That's all you got to know.
So if you have opinions, want to let us know your favorite D. If you are a Brink fanatic, call into our quick drop 909-601 NMLF 909-601-6653. Tweet us at the Twitters, hem us at the threads, or leave a message on our Spotify for Podcasters account, and you can be featured on a future episode.
And join us next week as we tackle our first James Bond movie, GoldenEye, with our pal Nick.
And thank
Oh.
you, Alon and David, for joining us. It was a pleasure as always. I love y'all's hot takes.
And we can't wait to have you guys come back again.
Yes.
No, we had so much fun. Thank you for inviting us. And more importantly, thank you for putting up with us.
Oh no, trust
I
me,
just want-
it was good.
I just want to reiterate that the views of Alon are his own, and they don't represent me or this podcast they're on in any way. So
You guys are great. No, we really appreciate you taking the time. We know that you're both fairly busy.
yeah, this was a lot of fun.
And
Oh,
as what?
I was going to say that's really nice coming from David.
The fuck does that mean?
It means I feel like you are honest and you don't just say things for fluff. So I
Everyone
appreciate
knows
it.
you're the cynical one. It's okay.
That's probably true.
Take a compliment, David.
God damn, dude.
I'll take it. Well, I needed it explained to me, and then now that it's explained to me, I accept.
See what I have to put up with?
And as always, be kind and rewind.